Hello and welcome to Be Powerful with Liz and Lee. It's a new day and we're so glad you're here.
So you can expect to hear candid conversations on what it means to be powerful. Live authentically, live in the midst of ups and downs, productively, and above all else, joyfully.
We are so thankful for you, our community of listeners, and we hope you enjoy today's show. We're on. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Lee.
Happy day.
Happy day to you.
I think we look kind of pretty in our silky shirts.
Really, really pretty. And today we have a new stand so that while we're talking, and those of you on YouTube, we'll find another way to entertain you to this episode besides the camera falling twice. Hopefully if it falls, it'll only fall once, right?
It'll be a sign if it does just to quit while you're ahead.
Yes.
No,
yes.
why do you look so nice? You were out and about this morning.
I was out and about at a meeting outside of my genre, which is exercise and health and all those good things.
Way.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
you know, I have this thing.
know.
It's called Hilliard Studio Method.
I should try it out.
You should try it out.
Okay.
It's good for you.
Okay.
Anyway, I was outside of that working with some other local business women and some men. On some things that we're going to talk about at another time.
Yep.
We just might jump right in there, but we decided we were going to wait on that podcast because it's an important one coming up. But anyway, I was outside of my comfort zone meeting, which was really refreshing.
Isn't that nice sometimes?
Oh, yeah. And I love hearing other business owners express the things that are concerning to them about our economy. And so that was pretty much what we were talking about.
Well, I think when things are very volatile in our cities and our states and our country, the political landscape is a little bit sketch right now. And I think, we've talked a lot recently about mental health and stressors. And one thing to do is to be active. So I think activism is a really great tool and path when you feel helpless.
Well, when you feel helpless, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. But I mean, it was interesting to me because I am definitely a small business owner. I mean, but I feel like we're sort of the lifeblood of any community, not Hilliard Studio Method, but these small business owners that sort of keep our economy going. And we do a certain service to our community. And for us to stay in business, things have to be not well-oiled, but oiled well enough for not only our clients to be able to come into our businesses, but for the people that work for these small businesses to do it. And not to give too much away, but a lot of this has got to do with the political landscape we're in right now. So I really enjoyed a meeting of the minds and learning more about ways that even as individuals, don't you think, we feel like, well, how much effect do we have as individuals? Yeah. And I even have a really good friend tell me one time, or not even really good friend, but somebody tell me.
They don't know who they are.
Somebody tell me one time, oh, Liz, you shouldn't deal with that. Get somebody in a position to deal with that. I'm like, you know what? And the more I thought about that, the more, of course, I want to engage with those people that have more push or pull than I do. But as an individual, I can make differences in our community by speaking my needs and our needs and the needs that I believe are healthy, because that's my business, health, for our people. So
true.
That was a really good way to start my day. And
I love that. Yeah. Right. I mean, Charlotte has many large corporations. I think we're a very large banking industry in this city. And that is part of fueling the society that we live in. But I think the local businesses are the lifeblood.
Oh, they are. I think of America.
Truly.
I think they really are.
So we have to set our businesses up and our policies up in our states that support local businesses, are non-discriminatory, and welcome people for growth.
Did you know that North Carolina is the number one state for people wanting to come to? And I think I'm saying that right. And again, I had some facts thrown at me this morning I was unaware of, and that's one of them. North Carolina is people want to come here, and there's a reason. I mean, not only is it a beautiful state with incredible people, but our government so far has been very inclusive, and it has been, we've had our moments, but we, as far as southern states go, have been we have been reasonable. I think North Carolina is a reasonable state. Yes, there's extremes both sides, But I think we come down to standing reasonably in what's the best interest of our people that live here.
Right.
We've been doing mental health for a couple of days. And so
Could still do that
we were
on
talking
and on.
right before the podcast. I was like, the mental health thing, let's do it again. Lee's like, okay, we've done this twice. Let's not do it again. But I went, why don't we just talk about your insecurities and we could list them? And so I said, but that would take like 4 episodes.
I wonder why I'm insecure.
No, I think it's fun. No,
it's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, let's make a game.
We could. I don't know where you want to begin, but I don't know. One thing, I'll digress for a second.
Okay, digress, please.
No, I will deflect for a second and
Best
turn
thing to
that.
do.
Because I would like to say that before this podcast, we got probably the nicest gift we've ever received. Speaking of small businesses, and speaking of community,
right?
We had 2 clients
and mental health
send us, the most exquisite flower arrangement, and the note that went with it. We didn't know we needed it, and we needed it, and it was incredible. And I just want to say thank you to those 2 very good friends, who are also very good clients. Who, I mean, I'm almost speechless,
I'm moved,
teary.
No, we're moved.
Incredible.
We're moved beyond. Those 2 people could have said that in person or not said that in person. Just kept doing what they do, which is a very supportive relationship which we have with them and they have with us. But instead, they took an extra step, and sometimes taking an extra step, an extra phone call or a note or in our case, exquisite flowers. We just thank you. You know who you are, and we want to thank you because we've got smiles on our faces right now because of that, and that makes a big thing.
It doesn't even just make you feel better. It makes you inspired to be a better person and do that kind of thing.
And to live up to that friendship.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, it's so important. Friends are so important. And even if you're not we're not on the phone calling each other friends all the time, reaching out to people that you care about, that you see on a daily basis or don't see on a daily basis, and doing that one extra step, that can make or break a day.
100%.
It really, I mean, I feel like that just made my day. That one thing.
For sure. Bigger than that. And it puts everything into perspective. And it just, when you're reminded that people have your back and what you're doing is powerful, then that really goes a long way, because I think self-doubt and for me, insecurities can go a long way. And I even said to you recently, I mean, I'm very aware that I have phenomenal friends. And
you do.
Many.
She does.
I don't forget, but sometimes I put being an instructor and clients and friends in the same bucket. And so I feel like I'm outside of the friendship when really those are legit friendships.
Yes, they are.
And I have to remind myself that, when I'm teaching, I do consider everybody in there a friend first and a client. And that's how much I care
you certainly
about them.
hugged enough of them. There's been, if you're not a hugger,
know who you are. Who won't let me hug her.
No, you're one of these days she's going to come up behind you and surprise hug you.
Bear hug.
I've never seen Lee you not hug somebody.
But you make it sound like I don't understand personal space.
No,
I have a real big thing about personal space and reading the room and knowing when to hug or not. And sometimes I don't like it, but it is a little bit more of my love language.
You have a very high emotional EQ. So yes, you're very smart with that. And
yours is questionable.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
No, but it's just, there was a great podcast that Glennon had on about, and I'm not going to go about hers, but she was talking about how she's a very sensitive human being.
Right.
You are a sensitive human being. By the way, that's not a criticism. That is a compliment, because that doesn't make you less or more. That just makes you sensitive. And so if things bother you, whereas it wouldn't bother me, it doesn't make you worse off than me. It reminds me to pay attention to somebody besides my damn self. If you're upsetting somebody and you see it, be careful with how you say something to someone.
Sure. And that was the point.
Yeah.
Telling someone they're sensitive with the intention of them being wrong because they haven't behaved the way you would, or the expectation is the gaslighting, the making someone
such a good term.
feel like they're thoughts or beliefs
Right.
don't matter or not
right. So just in case you haven't heard her podcast, and we really are going to call her out because they're like number one in the nation anyway, and you've all heard about it.
Podcasts.
But it came from a movie like in the 40s or 50s where
a Broadway production.
A guy was trying to make his wife feel like she was forgetful. And so she kept saying, no, I'm not, but he kept moving things around. And that term came from, he set her up to believe about herself, which was a thing that wasn't true. So when we set each other up, including ourselves, sometimes we gaslight ourselves.
For sure.
To believe something about ourselves that are not true, whether, maybe you're in a relationship with a partner that, demeans you. And anyway, it's so good. We're not going to go into her thing. Y'all watch it. Or listen to it. It's really good.
No, it is really good when you start to begin to doubt yourself because somebody keeps repeating it. It's
right.
Interesting. And it made me just reflect back. And I think I just went, whoa, do I gaslight myself in those instances of saying you're not worthy or you're not good enough? I mean, you can gaslight yourself, and that's a horrible trait. And, again, it's always about being self-aware. And I think there's a lot to be said about friendships can look many different ways. So just because the friends that I have, let's say in the studio, that multiple days a week we're spending quality time together and
definite
sweating and being together and encouraging each other and chit-chatting before and after class, just because we're not out to lunch or on a couple's date night or traveling together doesn't mean we're not friends.
We're not going to travel with anybody, Lee. You know that. We like to travel alone.
I know.
But
I think that's important to recognize that
count your friends.
Our friendship buckets can look very different. I mean, we've said this before. You to me and I to you can't be everything all at once for everybody. And so I think valuable friendships in any way, shape, and form.
Acknowledge them. And when you do acknowledge them, the power there is immense. That's why we feel good today. They took the step of doing, these people took the step of sending us a gift.
Our floral friends.
Yeah. I know that made them feel good but they don't, the way we feel is like magnified. So it reminds me that, I do need to send a note to this person that I haven't talked to in a long time. Or I do need to just pick up the phone and call her and say, how are you actually?
Right.
Or just, I'm thinking about you. And I think it just goes both ways. That energy is strong.
It is.
And that energy catches just like all the other energy. We're in a nation and communities where I think there's a real loneliness factor here. And we're simply just suffering from not reaching out sometimes.
Yeah.
And so look for some calls, y'all.
What is some calls?
I'm coming. I'm coming for you. You're going to go, who is that?
And calls is. And that's exactly what you did today.
Yes.
Is get out and connect with a little bit of a different group of people who inspire you and encourage you and say things that you haven't heard yet or say it in a different way.
Right. And call me to activism, whether it is whichever way. Activism, movement. Going forward.
It all goes back to that.
It always goes back to that. Yeah.
We all know how important it is to fuel yourself just right every morning. Liz, what's your jet fuel?
It's the HSM smoothie, of course.
Obviously.
But also, I've got a new little thing.
You've got a new friend? From Sakara Life, the Metabolism Super Powder is your go-to. It fires up your metabolism, curbs sugar cravings, helps ease bloat, and is it delicious?
Oh, it's so good, especially in your coffee. It's got a great taste.
Dump it in the coffee, blend it up and go.
Dump it in the coffee, blend it, and be excited because you're going to love
it. Y'all go to sakaralife.com. When you check out, you'll receive 20% off your order, which is a great deal by using the code XOLizHSM. That's XOLIZHSM for 20% off your order at sakaralife.com.
One of the most frustrating things in the world is, what do I do about a thing? Well, you can do the smallest little things. That one little call, that one little, in some cases, call a government official or something. You can make small changes.
Do you
large changes, small moves?
Ripple effect. Do you feel lonely as a business owner?
Yeah, especially when you're a business owner that has never, I have owned a business before, but there's a lot of questions when you're in a business. And
you don't come from a business background.
I don't come, even though now I've got a business background.
Experience.
Okay. And the more experience I get, the more you know, the more you don't know.
Mm.
And that's what owning a business is about. It's also the simplest thing in the world and the most complicated thing in the world. And it literally lives in that same juxtaposition all the time. I mean, it's as simple as you want to make it, and then things can happen, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do feel lonely. I sometimes wish I had somebody just to call up and go, what the hell? What do I do? Or what have I done?
Right.
Oh, damn. All those things.
Yes.
But I do.
I mean, you do. I think overall you get that and you would know where to turn. But
no, I don't always. I really don't.
Or you can at least talk about it. I support you so much, but Carrie does as well. And it's just not.
Thank God for you and Carrie.
Another business owner or a mentor. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot to be said for that making you more powerful when you have to fly on your own and figure it out, and you get to be the one making the decisions. But I'm sure sometimes it does feel maddening
and powerful at the same time. Maddening and powerful at the same time. And I remember I did a speaking thing recently, or I don't know, a few weeks ago, and one of the questions was, "Who was your mentor?"
Right.
I cannot answer that question. People have asked me that on more than several occasions. I don't have a mentor. I mean, I didn't know any women, or I knew of them. I mean, everyone knows the famous ones.
Sure.
But I didn't know personally women who owned businesses when I was coming along. There's a lot more of you now, thank God. And I'll be calling you soon. But that's an interesting question for, and I think even I should call men that run small businesses. They are, there's something beautiful about, they have a good, I know they have their men's club, and there's no doubt they do. But, who's my favorite guy that owns the coffee? Two favorite guys that own the coffee shops, Todd. And, they've been nothing but helpful. Business owners need a community, moms need a community. Moms and business owners need a freaking big community, if you're,
I think you've gotten a lot of help from people. I mean, your ex-husband's super helpful when it comes to business.
See, I wanted to call him out.
Bruce.
He's been friends. And that's one thing. My ex-husband has been there, done that, failed, come back up, failed, come back up. That was one interesting part about being married to him was he was in the oil and gas business, and it would go high and it would drop, and it would go high and it would go way down, as in below the ocean. I mean, it was an interesting thing, and I watched him navigate it, and that was really helpful to me. And so sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and go, "Have you got XYZ. 2 minutes?" He'll go, "I've got 1.5." And I'll go, "Good, answer these 3 questions." And he'll do it. And it's great. That. And then he'll call me back and he'll go, "So let's talk about that." That's a really good friend.
Let me think about
That's
what
a good
said.
friend.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not hard on.
Yeah.
But there is that aspect of your partner, your spouse, whomever, holding that weight as well. So there's things that I can't do for you or don't know how to do for you. It's not an added stress at all. I don't mean to say that, flip it on me, but
you're very,
there's a lot of men and women who are supporting, their partner or spouse who is a small business or whatever owner.
And I think that's underestimated because I know that I did when I was married, and I know that you do with me now. But you not only just support me emotionally, you support me in this business. This business is you and me. I mean, you are head cheerleader, head trainer, head all those things. And lucky for me, we're partners.
Right.
And not in business, but in life.
And when
and in business.
Right.
But it's not on paper that way. Nothing's on paper yet.
Anyway, I was going to say, what was I going to say? I mean, I can definitely name a handful of friends who I've spoken to whose partner or spouse is started in a small business, and the hours and the energy, it really is challenging. And I know that a part of that is it never ends. So I get to my end of the rope that goes,
you do.
We got to draw some boundaries because it can't be all the time 24/7 weekends every night, and you have to compartmentalize some of that into certain places in order to manage.
I think you really let me, because I'm 24/7.
You'll.
I always have been. Hilliard Studio Method has been 24/7 in my heart, in my life since the day it opened. Mm-hmm. And so it's very frustrating to somebody that's got to be around me.
Okay. But I would not say it's very frustrating at all. I just have to find moments of.
Okay. You're very good at that too. And everybody I need to have that boundary for myself.
Yes.
That says, we are now going out to dinner. I told you one night, everything we do, we should just write off on business.
I know.
And even my accountant is saying, you should probably write more off on business because
it's constant business.
If we're going to talk at all, I mean, we're going to throw business in there at some point.
At some point, I was going to say we have plenty to converse, but it's when parents go on vacation and leave their children behind for the first or second time, and all they do is talk about the children. I mean, you know, you do have to find those spaces of
it's true.
habits that you enjoy together. My neighbor just traveled with her husband. She got 3 precious kids, and they haven't gone away for 2 nighs since they've had 3. And so they were just doing that. And we were talking book recommendations. And she said, sometimes he and I will read the same book. So we have something to talk about besides the kids. So that's so smart.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need to do that because those kids are going to leave you one day. And you're going
to need to talk about
now.
That is the truth.
That's true. You got to keep on growing, keep on reading more and more or something, you know, get your excitement in other ways. It also makes you a better mom.
You heard it here.
Because I am
from the mom of the
definitely. My daughter would love to hear that. Yeah, because I am definitely the expert mom. Got that one down, you know. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
Speaking of Mother's Day, that's coming up.
Yes. When is that? This week or
May
next?
14th.
Oh, that's in 2 weeks.
Get it going.
It's time.
Once you hear this, you have about a week to be prepared.
Can I give everyone a word of wisdom? I do have a really good word of wisdom, and this is for the men.
See.
This is for the men who are still married to the mothers of their children. Don't ever not get your wife or partner a Mother's Day gift. And if you forget or you don't get her something, but just for some reason, like there must have been an earthquake and you couldn't get to the store, do not ever use these words. I'm sorry, honey. You're not my mother. So therefore, I would never celebrate Mother's Day. I'll give these gifts to my mother. Guess who made that mistake?
Aubrey?
My ex-husband. He laughs. I mean, he can laugh about it. I hope he can, but he knows it.
That's funny.
It was of all the words that ever uttered from his mouth, those are the worst. Like, I don't give you a Mother's Day gift. You're not my mother.
You're not my mother.
Ooh, don't do that. Just words of wisdom. No matter how bad things are going that day, those are the words you'll never want to utter or call the attorney. You know, just get it done.
But just make sure to reciprocate on Father's Day.
Yes. Oh, I don't think fathers are all celebrated like they should be.
True.
They really aren't. I mean, those guys, and I don't think they really expect much either. They just like, hey, can we go play golf again? Like I always do.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, and ties, really? Come on, guys. Let's go, because guys need to have something really, fun too I think fatherhood is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know what to get, guys. But anyway, that's in June. We'll work about that one in June.
Yeah, right now it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. I'd like to shout out our friends at Supperland because they today, it's Monday when we're recording this, they sent an email blast about starting to do brunches on Saturdays and Sundays. And the first ones are going to be the weekend of Mother's Day. And they had at 11:11 today on May the 1st, reservations open at 11:19. I went on and they were all sold out.
No way.
I'm serious.
They're such good. Now you talk about business people.
Owners.
I need to just hang out more with Jamie and her husband. What's his name?
Jeff.
Jamie and Jeff. They are incredible. That is good marketing.
They've got it going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm on the wait list and maybe I'll pay for my kids to go with me.
Wait a minute. You're on the wait list for your Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Oh. That doesn't seem right.
I know.
Anyway.
It's fine.
It's fine. You want to make sure you did something. I think that's a great idea.
I know.
Celebrate yourself.
Right.
Yeah, because they probably won't even know. They go,
oh, it's Mother's Day. But I would like to say too, for all the people with any estrangement or strain in their mother-daughter relationship, for anyone who has lost a mother, lost a child, anyone who has tried to have a child and struggled or haven't, that this is really
a hard day.
A hard day. And so I hate that about holidays that celebrate people, and at the same juxtaposition vein, there are people who it's a really hard day.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing I can say or do except for I feel
that's where you reach out. That's where you
Yes.
reach out. You just call or you text or you whatever, and you say, "Oh, I'm thinking of you." To those people that are having whatever. That was really a very nice thing to say, because it needs to be said. There's these holidays have such high expectations.
Yes. Well, and if you're Margaret Simon from the Judy Blume novel, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
We saw that yesterday.
You'll learn that she doesn't like religious holidays.
Okay.
It is the cutest movie.
It was cute. But can I just say this little story? So we thought it would be fun to take my granddaughter, who it's just like, she's blooming. She's in the tween, she's like almost 12. And she would rather do stuff. She loves to do stuff with me. So we bought tickets, and she was like, Dee Dee, I got this. She's got this cool friend now that they just like do everything together. And she just called me. She goes, I don't really want to go, but I love you so much. I'm like, oh, that's fine. So we went.
We went to the PG movie.
Went to see it. And
you didn't grow up with the book, obviously. It was not in your...
It was written like when I was, 18? When was that written?
No, I mean, I think, I don't know when it was written.
Like
I read it in the 80s.
Okay.
I mean, it was, the time period is the 70s of the plot.
When I'm like that age.
I read it. Judy Blume was when I was growing up. You're way past that.
Oh, I'm so old. I'm so old. I need to go on back.
Right. Then we go the other way. Abby, our friend and trainer, Abby was like,
Abby Bruggs.
Because she's in her 20s. Yeah. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So me and Abby just need to continue to hang out. By the way, it doesn't matter how old you are. That's true. Abby Bruggs and I are pretty good buddies because we think alike, and we're like, I don't know, 100 years apart in age.
But what was also cool, we were in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a lot of it was filmed here.
I didn't even know that. You're telling me that during the movie. Where was it filmed in Charlotte?
All over.
By the way, y'all go see it if you hadn't seen it.
It's just it's a wholesome, cute movie with good acting.
Okay.
And it's under 2 hours, finally.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I grew up with it, so I kind of shed a tear. So you know who you are. You need to go see it. It's fine if you don't want to. It's
who
cute.
You are. That's good. Okay, good. That's all the movie recommendations we have.
If you're not listening or watching, I'm like, quit interrupting.
I know.
I want to talk about this movie.
Okay.
What else did we do? What else is coming up?
Well, what is coming up? I don't know. I keep thinking about movies now, and I want to watch the new Ted Lasso tonight.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's big.
So
that's
good.
huge.
They're in Amsterdam. These past couple episodes, we're going to Amsterdam this summer.
By the way, we're going to be traveling this summer, and
save all our time and all our money for these.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being 3 weeks.
Are we going to podcast from there?
We're going to have to, because it's a 3-week sabbatical.
Yeah. We're going to, see, I'm itching now. Like my body's starting to itch as I'm a business owner. And I'm like, I'm going to leave the country for 3 weeks this summer. Is that really going to happen?
And usually you say longer. I
know.
And I had a scheduling snafu with my family, and my daughter's at camp for 5 weeks, and my son, anyway, a trip
always
got
about
changed.
the kids.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I know.
They're home for like 4 more years.
That's true.
I always come home on his birthday, and he'll be at the beach with his dad, and I won't see him. So we just continued the trip.
So we did. We made it a whole nother week.
And now you're the one freaking out.
Well, it's just
I am too. I don't know who's going to teach or what's going to happen.
We don't know. Y'all. Well, it's going to all work out. Just bear with us, right?
I was going to say we'll just do live videos on vacation, but I'm going to need a real break.
Yeah, I think we're going to need a real break. I think we all need to take a real break. Everybody needs a real break. Sometimes, remember when you're small, when your kids are small, and I know that's a lot of our audience out there, when you went on vacation, you needed a vacation after your vacation.
Right.
I think all of us need to remember that. I mean, sometimes you just need to have that time just alone with your partner, or maybe just alone. You know, you in a book. And a warm, calm day, that's a good day.
A warm, calm day. Well, we know what you like. A cool 90 degrees.
I do like my hot weather. Can't wait.
I know, baby.
It's really cold.
I'm always sweating in here. Today, I'm not really.
People, I know that they're all going, yeah, you're just an older lady now. You're just cold. Nope. I've been cold since I came out of the womb. I'm like, put a blanket around me. I'm cold.
Cold-blooded snake.
Yeah, I know. I'm real reptilian. So anyway, yeah, I think we are, gosh, we're just kind of beating around the bush today, but we're having a good time.
It's cool, just talking about all the things. Go back and listen if you hadn't to some of those health, nutrition, wellness, mental health episodes.
Well, I want to leave them with a couple of to-do things.
Oh, go
Every
ahead.
single person listening or watching this podcast, I want you to call 2 people or reach out in some way or another, whether it's some form of communications, to 2 people today and see how you feel.
Okay.
And if you feel good, do it again the next day. I bet you'll feel good.
I bet you'll feel good.
So those are, to me, that is a big mental health thing.
Agreed.
Reaching out, because I had it happen to me. And so now I am invested
paying it
forward. Absolutely.
Okay.
We are only here we are here for one another. We're here to help others, feel good.
And I'd like to say thank you to you and to my friends near and far.
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful. I know I'm really, really lucky.
We were going to talk about your insecurities and we never did.
No, we're good. I'll just, we're already done. Save that for next time. So thank you.
There are none.
For all the people who support me, including you. Mm-hmm. And y'all quit gaslighting each other's and yourself.
Good point.
Right?
Yeah. These are our points.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're good to go. We're going to come back. We're going to come back with something really solid next time. Like, I don't know what, but it'll be something solid. So anyway, I love you.
Love you. Bye.
See you soon. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.